Lyndon.
I'm Tiffany.
And we live on this 35-foot sailboat. This boat design is a little different than the traditional design. We have this bulkhead here, which we can close the doors, and then the boat's basically in two sections. One of the things is we have an aft berth here, so this is where we sleep, and it's really tiny and really tight. This is where all of our electronics go, all our circuit breakers. Again, it's all 12 volts, so it's super simple. This is our chart plotter that I installed new last year. Works really nice. And then other than that, we have another berth here, which we use for storage. Normally there's cushions that go in there, but for winter we've pulled it out and I'm storing my tools. Below that is the batteries. We run, at this moment, we run two 6-volt batteries for about 225 amp hours of life. And then this is our nav station. So under here we have all paper charts and then a bunch of other stuff underneath. But this is our VHF. This is a new one. It has an AIS and GPS receiver in it, so it'll just be better for when we're offshore. And behind that we have radar, an old school radar that works great. And then we also have an Iridium Go sat phone mounted back there. This is our on-demand hot water. So a lot of people have polarizing opinions about these, but it runs off propane. We only really use it when we shower, and we do shower on the boat. The water heats up within a few seconds, and it doesn't use very much propane. And then we also have some safety equipment, man overboard light, and our EPIRB as well. So then here we have the bathroom. Pretty standard. Close it, there's a shower, and then there's a little basin under there, and then there's a pump that pumps it out, and then it drains out through the sink. Works pretty well. Headroom's a little short in the boat. But. And then in here we have the kitchen, or the galley. A little bit different design again because of our bulkheads. We have our ice box here, which is converted into a fridge, and there's quite a lot of space in there. And then we have our 3-burner propane stove and oven, which works fantastic. We use it all the time. And then on this side we just have more storage, counter space, and the sink. You have to reach down into the sink to do the dishes, but then you're smashing your head on the cupboards. But that's just part of life. So then we have our main living area here. The nice part about this design is our couches, like I can lay full length out on them. And the table flips up so we can have, 4 people comfortably hanging out in here. And we have our diesel heater here that came installed on the boat. Works really well. We don't really use it unless we're on anchor, and then we can't use the electric heat. So the other owner converted it. He had 5 kids, and he converted it into more of a V-berth, so he had cushions made. And then this table here he put in, but normally that's actually considered a seat, and then you work on the one side. It's really handy for us because in the size of boat we were looking in, I couldn't fit in the V-berth anyways. So with the aft berth I can lay out, and then it's nice to have the extra sort of shop area. And then there's storage each side down below. And yeah, it's really nice. Our water tanks are underneath there. I think we have about 300 liters of water. We moved on last August of 2017, and we were planning on moving or going to Mexico that September, and it didn't work out because we weren't able to get ready and feel comfortable with the boat. So we decided to stay the winter, and we'd gotten rid of all of our winter clothes and everything that we had. So
And we hadn't budgeted for outfitting the boat for winter living either. It's not insulated. I don't think it's ever been lived on here in the winter.
Yeah.
So we weren't prepared for that financially or in actuality.
Yeah, so it was a learning experience. Like every month as it got colder, it would be like, October, we'd install fans and that would address the problem. And we're like, oh, great, this will be easy. And then November, it's like, oh no, now we got to do
November was like
this.
shoving rags in every little condensation dripping corner, which
Yeah.
there still are some, but
And mold, there's tons of mold. As soon as something's up against the hull, then
it's
we
moldy.
would have to deal with mold. And so like every month we would do more and more stuff. Finally we've got it beat, and now the days are getting longer and warmer, so
We got it beat once we finally bought a dehumidifier too.
yeah.
That was like a large dehumidifier. That was a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
We we had a house in the Okanagan, and we renovated a basement suite into it, and we lived in the suite. So it was like 600, I think it was 650
Yeah.
square feet. And before that we were living in a travel trailer for a few years, I think. So tight spaces, but they just keep getting smaller and smaller. We had to get rid of so much stuff, and like Lyndon's really good at getting rid of stuff. I'm not good at getting rid of stuff, so it was a challenge for sure. And it's still like I even think about, oh, we have that, and then we don't. So there's a lot of things that just a lot of things that I would have probably used on a daily basis that we got rid of because we just didn't have the space for it. But we do have a small storage locker here that we kept basically just for the winter. Our boat came with like extra sails and
A wind vane.
and things like that we just don't have set up yet. So we had that, and then we just took like the outdoor cushions and put them in storage just because space in the winter is a challenge, just because nothing can really be on the outside walls. So anyway, we still have some stuff that's not in the boat, but pretty much everything here, like this is the majority of what we own.
Yeah.
Because we were prepping to go offshore right away, so we bought like a new life raft. You built a solar arch for the back, so we've installed solar power. We're installing a wind generator.
I have to redo the batteries. The batteries are about 15 years old, so at the moment I'm trying to get a new style of battery, which is called a carbon foam battery, and it's a little more comparable to lithium ion, but it's more of a direct replacement to like a lead acid.
Lyndon installed a bunch of the USB charge ports all over the boat, and
We changed everything to LED lighting.
LED lighting, so we have less power draw, and it's just so much nicer.
So the way it works with our shore power is when we're plugged in, the shore power just runs our battery charger and then the plugs, so whatever you plug in, everything else is 12 volts. The living on the boat it really amplifies sort of everything. So
Yeah.
we had somebody contact us the other day and say like, oh, I was worried about, my wife and I are thinking about moving on a boat, but I'm worried about, what's going to be the issue that comes up. And like, I think if you're in a long-term relationship and you're considering moving into this lifestyle, like, what the problems are going to be already, or the habits that are going to like really set you off, because the boat just amplifies the little things that irritate you about each other. Now all of a sudden become these like huge day-to-day dealings. And for us, we're just traveling around right now, so it's not like one person goes to work and one person's on the boat.
Yeah.
And if we need to spend time apart, it's 35 feet away. That's all you get, really. So
Sure. I think too, like going into it, if you're debating moving into it, well, I mean, sailboat is what I know, but if you're debating moving on to a sailboat, I think you both, for me, like I have to have my own reasons for wanting to do it.
yeah.
Like we both went into it, when we finally decided to pull the trigger, figuratively speaking, it was like I was at the place of ready to move on, and Lyndon was at the place of ready to move on. Because I think when there's arguments, or like for me at least, when I'm frustrated, if I didn't have that I wanted to do this too, it all just gets backfired on him, and I think that's where a lot of issues could arise. You kind of always have to remember the end goal is like adventure and travel and
Yeah.
experiences, and like just doing something different, and I mean that's the goal, right?
Yeah, I
So-
think the sacrifice of the small space life and just the trials, especially of the relationship, is Like, it's such a small sacrifice for when you're out traveling and enjoying the sunshine and just getting to move around. Like, it's so worth it.
Would you recommend this lifestyle to anybody?
I would recommend it if you are at all inclined to wanting to do it, then just pursue it. I don't think it's for everyone, but I do think, I think it's great.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I mean, personally, I'm a little bit more, I enjoy having less to experience more. So if you're somebody that wants to travel, if you're sort of thinking, oh, I could live on a boat for cheap and it'd be like an easy lifestyle, it's not. There's tons of expenses that come up, and it just can really drag you down. But if you want to adventure, if you want to travel, I remember the first time we ever anchored somewhere, and in my head I was kind of like, oh, did we remember to bring this, like my swim trunks or something? And then it was like, oh yeah, we have everything that we own with us.
That was
and it was just a cool feeling to do. And one of the things we really liked, we had backpacked across Europe. We had a fantastic time, but the idea of the boat was like, it's so nice to come back and like sleep in the same bed instead of hostel to hostel, and like making your own food. You could do that in the hostel, but just here you have everything you would need. So it's a really cool way to travel around and see what you can see. So if you are interested in the boat life or the sailing life, I would say just do your research. If you're able to, take your time to find the boat that suits your climate and what you're going to be doing. Even for us, this boat isn't suited well for this climate, and we really feel it. But again, our goal was to go and is to go south, so for that it'll be great. Yeah, but I would recommend it. It's really cool. You meet a ton of cool people.
I would think advice that I would have for someone would be, you can't be scared to, like, if something breaks. Like, I've had many instances where it's like the pump on the water thing broke and I had to figure it out. So you can't be scared to figure out how things work. You can't be scared to, I don't know, it's a bit, it can feel a bit dangerous when you're out there in the water, but I don't know, just don't be scared to get your hands dirty.
It's much more of a self-reliant lifestyle.
Yeah. Do your research, but don't let not knowing everything hold you back from just doing it. Because there's the amount of people we've met that are like, we want you to succeed too, so we're going to help you make this goal happen. Like, the people that we've met are wonderful, and
yeah, the community like in and around the marina is so kind and generous.
Yeah.
Anything we don't know, I can go ask down the dock, and somebody will willingly come on the boat and help us.
Yeah, check your pride, because people are willing to help, and so you just gotta ask for it. We have a YouTube channel, and we're on Instagram, but it's mostly through YouTube, Waldy Sailing, and we post weekly videos on there, and we really try to have an honest take on what our experience is, and it's good and bad, but yeah, that's where it is.
Yep.
Hey everybody, I'm Forrest. I'm the man behind the camera on the video you just saw. And for those wondering, and for those who don't know, I am still making the movie, The Reality of Van Life.
We're good.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Oh, hell yeah. So what's your story? How come you're living in a van?
How come I'm living in a van? I have so many reasons.
This is going to be a 45 to 60 minute long feature documentary. At a lot of ways, it's looking at the challenges and the reality of van life. In other ways, it's looking at the broader spectrum of how van life is romanticized on social media, and critically and comedically, exploring that idea. So if you're interested in that movie, a lot of updates will be on this channel. So stay tuned for that. Feel free to subscribe. There will be lots of updates on the community tab as well as in these films. I'm making this film with the goal to sell it to Netflix. I'm not exactly sure when it will be released, but hopefully sometime this spring for a limited theatrical release, and then people will be able to view it hopefully on Netflix or some other streaming site like that. So thank you all for sticking with me this far in my journey and for watching my YouTube channel and being part of this community. I'll see you guys next week for another alternative living documentary, and stay tuned for more updates about the reality of #van life.